Yeah, just FYI, FYI, is that even a real word? Probably not. FY, yes, just FY. That bracket was actually wrong. It's currently 2-1 in Nerchio's favor. Sorry, I gave the wrong information to my designer. Well, I didn't really, but I gave it in a way that was confusing. We do have another matchup for you, and Nerchio is one game away from getting into the finals to face up against Morrow. And White-Ra is, of course, one game away from going into the bronze match against Mana. We shall see what happens, folks, as we kick it off right here on the Tal'Darim altar. Kicking it off in 3, 2, 1. Mark, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Tal'Darim altar. My name is Duckload.Biscuit. In the round of 4 of the Shoutcraft Invitational, I bring you the might of Empire.Nerchio. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the southwest of this particular matchup versus his opponent, who is currently one game down. It's 2-1 in Nerchio's favor in this best of 5 series. I give you TT Esports White-Ra. So there you go, folks. This has been interesting up until this point. White-Ra does need to come back from this one. This is his chosen map. This is a map that he does extremely well on. We'll see as to whether or not it works out in his favor. Nerchio has been putting on an incredibly impressive display up to this point. The 7-roach rush was perfect, and as it would appear, White-Ra overreacted to the attack on his front by building cannons at the front, but neglected to take into account that those zealots would not hold the line. The thing is that it was actually Nerchio playing mind games. It was very, very clever. He showed 3 roaches to White-Ra, not 7. That's the big difference. That's what made the critical difference. White-Ra thought, okay, 3 cannons at the front will kill 3 roaches before they even get in. Which is probably true. It would have killed 2 and injured the 3rd. And then he could have cleaned up with the Stalker. It was actually a 7-roach rush, which would have broken that line easily. And you saw that it did. So, once again, Nerchio is a master of information and indeed misinformation. And White-Ra's scouting definitely needs to be much stronger this game. We're going to be looking towards a Forge Fast expansion again with the pylon at the front like that. Looking for a longer game on Tal'Darim. As to whether or not it will work out well, that is questionable. Nerchio opening up with the extractor and the spawning pool. He'll get his expansion when he is able to do so, no doubt, which he can't do right now. White-Ra is preventing that from happening. Down goes that, and the Forge will come up in 1 second, and there you go. So the question, I suppose, now becomes, what does White-Ra do in order to win this kind of pressure game? It's difficult. Seeing the fast expansion, Nerchio may choose to go with the roach play once again. He does have 1 extractor. He could do it. So there's no question. Zergling's on the way out. No sign of an upgrade as of yet. Is he going to save for Speedling? Is that what he's looking for right here? We're about to find out. We'll see if he decides to go Speedling or if he's going for Roach. Hatchery's on its way up. Hasn't picked up Speedling upgrade as of yet. He has the money for it right about now. I'm curious. I'm very curious to see if he actually spends that gas. In the meantime, White-Ra, photon cannon at the front. Nothing really to worry about too much for him at the moment, anyway. And those roaches, if they do come, are going to be significantly later. Unless, of course, he's timed this down to a T, in which case he's building up gas deliberately to get enough for the roaches. But the thing is, he's actually mining barely any gas. He's only mining 1. So I don't know. We'll find out shortly, one way or the other. White-Ra moving himself across the map, giving a bit of scouting information. Doesn't want to give away that information advantage. Really bad idea. He spots the expansion. It's interesting, actually, as to what Nerchio is doing here. He's building up a very small amount of gas. He's only mining 1 at a time. What is he going to do with it? He could go through to layers, certainly. Nothing stopping him from doing that. He's got the money right now if he so desires. I'm very intrigued to see what he pulls out of his hat right here. White-Ra is being allowed to build up. He's looking pretty secure for the moment. That's another expansion. This is a mass macro right here from Nerchio, which is to be expected. You want to always try and stay 1 step ahead of your opponent in terms of the number of bases you've got if you happen to be a Zerg. There's the wall off right here by White-Ra. Should be able to hold that no problem whatsoever. No roaches, and we are looking for Speedling upgrade, so a little bit more standard. And White-Ra is going to have to deal with the fact that his opponent is shaking things up again. Again, White-Ra really needs to actually get himself a robotics this time around so he can get an observer out. He's just been starved of information this entire entire series, and it's not what you want at all. Absolutely not. Obviously, it's been a lot of very early game wins, and in the case of the first game, it was a 4-gate, so he didn't need a robo there. And in the case of the other 2 games, he wasn't even able to get a robo out. This time, it looks like he'll be able to do that, so he will be in a better position. Nerchio has a extremely impressive and very dangerous arsenal of early game attacks. Here's the transfer coming down right here, and we can have a look at the economic comparison. White-Ra getting plenty of gas right now, lots of it. Getting on 3, sitting on 4, looking for robotics play. There's really no question about that right now, I would think. Certainly no early game aggression with gateways, I wouldn't think, with 4 gas. That doesn't make any sense. If we have a look at the count, what we can see right there, 42 probes to 28 drones. That's a pretty significant advantage right here. A couple of spore crawlers coming down. It's mostly gateways, however, for White-Ra. As I say, I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of airplay, but that's what Nerchio thinks. Nerchio believes the thing is there's 5 more gateways coming down. This is not an airplay at all. This is a 6-gate, which is interesting considering the fact that he went with 2 assimilators. That's a lot of sentries he can throw into the mix right there. The Roach is on the way, and now Nerchio transitioning into the strategy that he tends to use in Zerg versus Terran. Because for the +1 melee attack, he goes with the Zerglings and the Roaches. How effective that's going to be against White-Ra is questionable. Zerglings and Roaches will be shut down by a lot of sentries, certainly. No real question about that. And also, note the proxy pylon. White-Ra is ready for some 6-gateway warp-in aggression. Now, I wonder how much information he really got there. He saw some gateways. He didn't see all of them, certainly. What is his response going to be? Well, he's already running across the battlefield. He's actually bringing out the Banelings as well. White-Ra with an initial force. That's going to be difficult to deal with. He may be forced to use the force fields. He doesn't really have any choice in the matter. There we go. Slices them apart quite nicely. And the cannon should pick up the rest. Now, the question is, will he be able to get any kind of warp-in play going on? Because he does have proxy pylon. There's the warp-in. Zealots on the way. Army count is in favor of White-Ra very slightly. However, Nerchio could easily get some Banelings up right there. They might be able to do real damage. They could perhaps bust through the photon cannon. He'd need possibly more than that one, though. Baneling Nest is now available. More Zerglings on the way. And here comes some warped-in aggression right here from White-Ra. This is going to be dangerous. It's going to be difficult for Nerchio to deal with. Oh, the force fields! They are looking pretty damn good. He almost blocks them all off. And there you go. There's the final wall off. He will lose that proxy pylon perhaps, or maybe he will not. Zealots come in right there. This is looking really good for White-Ra. That 3rd base is going to get shut down by the looks of it. Baneling's coming in, and White-Ra will see it coming. Sees the Baneling morph, and of course doesn't have Baneling speed. White-Ra looking to clean this up quickly before the Banelings start to do real damage to him. Needs to play the force fields. There's the detonation. The force fields are good. They are very, very good. They hold the line nicely. And White-Ra with a very critical advantage right here over Nerchio. Good 6-gateway aggression right here. And more, and I do mean more units coming in by the truckload. Or should I say the duckload. It's on its way. Baneling's coming in. Oh, a nice block off there. He does lose a few zealots. It's not critical. Detonation GG, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to the final game. 2 apiece in this best of 5 series. Could it get any more tense than that? We'll be right back in just a few short moments, folks.